Namaskaram. Have you ever been on a diet? See, if you look at most of the diets, I'm sure quite a few of you have gone through at least one of those diet plans. Right? If you have done those, you might have noticed that most of these plans are quite effective, right? So if you go through it for like 4 months, 5 months, you can really reduce your weight. You can reduce your fat. They're quite effective. But what happens when you stop the diet? And in most cases, almost more than 90% of the cases, what happens is that when you stop the diet, you put on all that weight which you have lost. Okay, and in some cases, even more. So, how do we prevent this from happening? This can be only prevented by a diet which is sustainable. That is, throughout your life, you should be able to sustain this diet. This is where yoga comes in. A yogic diet is something which you can sustain throughout your life. It is not just maybe for a few months. This is something which you can sustain. Now, if you want to sustain a diet, what is the key thing which you have to do? Right? You should love what you eat. Otherwise, you cannot sustain it. Okay. So, you should love what you eat. So, when I talk about yogic diet here, I'm talking about eating things in moderation. It's all about moderation. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains it very clearly. Right? What does he explain? About diet, he talks about mitaharam, moderation in your diet. Okay, moderation in exercise, moderation in entertainment. All these things in moderation is good. So when you talk about moderation here, okay, if you have craving for something, there is no harm in having it. Now I'm going to say you have food which you have craving for in moderation with awareness. How do we create this awareness? We create this awareness using yogic practices and meditation. Right? So you create awareness. Take my example. So back in college, I used to have 1 liter of ice cream almost every day. I used to work out a lot those days. But I used to have 1 liter of ice cream. These days, I can get the same satisfaction by having just 1 teaspoon of ice cream. Why is that? That is because the awareness has developed. With years of yoga practice, your awareness is developing. So you're still eating the food you love. Right? I never go on a diet. I always eat food which I like. I hate diet. Right? So with awareness, if you are eating, you can eat what you want till the end of your days. Throughout your life, you can eat what you want. Okay, so it is about awareness, creating awareness. So let me give you an exercise. The exercise is, okay, in my case, it was ice cream. So in your case, you take food which you really love to have. Okay, and then have 1 tablespoon of it. Put it in your mouth and enjoy the taste. Don't swallow it immediately. Chew on it, enjoy the taste for 5 minutes. And then you have it. Then you take another spoon. Right? By 2, 3, maybe 4, 5 spoons, your mind is already saying that, okay, I'm happy now. I don't have to eat the whole thing. I want you to do this exercise and check out how your awareness is developing. Now, if you're practicing yoga and meditation along with this, your awareness will develop much, 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 much faster. Okay. Now, let us look at practicality. How do you immediately start on this program? So, let us look at the food you're having today. If I tell you to stop certain food, it is going to be very difficult for you. So what I'm going to say is, okay, have what you normally have. Okay, no restrictions on it. Have what you normally have. Now you have to reduce the calorie intake by 15 to 20%. So how do you reduce the calorie intake by 15 to 20%? First of all, you have to reduce the amount of oil you use. Remove all the visible fat in your food. Right? So fat, you go, take it out. Then you have got sweets. Try to reduce as much as possible the sweets in your food. Okay, whether it is sugar or chocolates or whatever. Try and reduce that. I'm not saying completely eliminate, I'm just saying reduce that. Okay. Fried stuff, all those things, reduce. The other thing is reduce the amount of carbohydrates you are having. So you might be having lots of uh, carbohydrates like plain rice, chapati, potato, lot of these probably even high glycemic index carbohydrate. Reduce the amount of carbohydrates you have. Okay, have more vegetables in your diet. Okay, so when you do this, what happens is that the amount of calories you are consuming per day automatically reduces. Now, if you have craving to eat chocolate, no problem. Have chocolate with awareness, as I explained, that 5-minute technique. Okay. Start doing this from today. And also make sure that you start doing yoga at least 20 minutes. If you do power yoga and bit of meditation, that is good enough. Right? We have got YouTube videos on our channel. Go through it. Okay, do some power yoga and some meditation for 20 minutes. And let's see how it's going to be effective for you. Namaste.